Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fifth at Night. How's everyone doing today? Shout outs to the people listening in the chat, listening on the show. What is going on here? Sorry, y'all. You bring up my people, man. Let me bring up my people. Hello, Meerkat. How you doing?
I'm tired, but I'm here.
Good.
I'm
Seems to be working.
Yeah, I went to Texas this weekend. My grandson's birthday and his brother did his first communion. I was raised Baptist, so the Catholic traditions are not familiar.
Right.
But it
Very
was
good.
sweet. I mean, it was really good. The priest is really good. He's a people person and just animated, and just lively. And so the kids like him.
That's what's up. Let me bring up Mila. Mila, how you doing, Mila? You there?
I'm here. I'm just sick.
Ooh. All right, B.
Yeah. I made it though. That's all that matters.
I'm glad you're here. If you gotta calm down a few times, I understand for today, okay?
All right.
I understand. So today, I'm just waiting for everybody else to come up. But today, this is gonna be an interesting episode, okay? So today's topic: prenups in a marriage, smart protection, or planning for divorce. I definitely wanted to get the married people's perspective. I'm not married, but I'm someone who's looking from the outside in. I'm someone who has definitely paid attention to the world that we live in. So I'm going to have some opinion on things, but I have some things for us to react to. As always, I have some clips for us to react to, give some interesting perspectives, okay? So we're going to get into that. So before I actually get into a clip, so I do want to ask this question. Is anyone for or against prenuptial agreements?
I'm for it.
Okay. So, Meerkat, you go first. You could explain why you're for it. You can give your opinion.
Well, I mean, nobody really goes into a marriage to get divorced. Okay. So, and then you automatically go to, oh, there's no trust. Well, if you're getting married, you should have trust. Prenups are protective in the event the marriage does not work and fall apart, especially when you have children. You've got property and things like that. So I think you have to have an open mind and an attitude of, I want to protect myself. I don't want the state to speak for me. That's who usually speaks for you is the state, because they do have specific rules that you have to abide by, especially when you've got property and children. So I think it's better if you can protect yourself. But that's if you never get divorced, it's not even necessary. It's irrelevant. It's just so that's where I'm at with it. I've signed one before in a previous marriage. So, and I signed it, no problem at all. I wasn't there for what he had. I was there because I genuinely loved him. And he later became not a nice stepdad to my son. So the marriage didn't work out. But I mean, the prenup never even came into it because I just, stepped out. So anyway.
Okay, Mila, you can give your opinion on why you're for it.
I'm all for prenups because you never know who you're in a relationship with. Um, Although they showed you that they care, they love you, and everything, and once you get a better job with better pay, and things start picking up, and the house get bigger, and the cars get bigger, it's it's gonna draw attention. Like, oh, so he making this much money, or she making this much money. I'm gonna divorce her and take. I'm gonna divorce him or her and take half of what he or she has. So I'm all down for a prenup because you're gonna come in with what you have and you're gonna leave with what you came in with. You're not gonna take nothing more, nothing less than what wasn't yours. Now, if you go work for it and you get the same thing that he or she has, then that's it. That's all.
Understood. Understood. Prenups protect both parties. I think what's written in the prenup definitely matters. So that's the context, right? So if the context is what you came in with and what I came in with is what we walk away with. Now, what we build together is different. Then that has to be divvied out between the both of us. And then that's something that should be mediated before we get to a judge. Because once we get in front of that judge, then they decide, you know. And then we have to be fair to each other, you know. Like I said, in case that happens, you don't go in it wanting to happen. But even if you come into a marriage with very little, it's still yours.
Right.
You know, and you should be able to be entitled to that, you know. But like I said, what you build together, to be fair, that is different. That has to be divvied out how it should. But yes, if it was before me, it was before me.
Right.
You know, and so that goes for your average people. I know people will say, well, prenups only for rich people. Nah.
No. No, that's for anybody.
It's for anybody who has more than the next person that don't 100% know if that person is with them for what they have or if they truly love them.
Especially when you have prior children from prior marriages or prior relationships. You've got to have protections in place. You know, in the event, I mean, if like I say, if it never goes bad, then it's the prenup is irrelevant, you know.
So I'm gonna read a question from RCB. He says, my question is, how many marriages last when prenuptial agreements are involved?
I would say none, honestly, because everybody, they get so caught up in the money and the things that was brought in when they got married. Because once you become one, it's both of you guys. And a marriage will never last as long as your mind is strictly on material things and money.
I think his question is, hey, RCB, can you reiterate your question? Because what I'm getting from is this. Your question to me sounds like how many marriages that actually have signed a prenuptial agreement, how long they last, is there like a study on it? That I don't know. Maybe there might be, but I think it all depends on if they've let that info be public, that they have, you know, a prenuptial agreement. But I would say that if it's a prenup and it's not about the money, if you're marrying someone and it's not about just the money or whatever, what you can get out of it, then if it's a genuine marriage, then if it splits, it's not because of the money, because they already signed a prenuptial agreement, unless they never walked down the aisle because they didn't agree to sign the prenup. That's different.
Right. That's right.
I think it's more so on the end of they decided not to walk down the aisle because a prenuptial agreement wasn't signed. And, you know, I have an actual story for that, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let this clip play. I was waiting on Zacchaeus and Beyond to come in, but I don't want this to hold up the show. So let me go ahead and get to this clip here I wanted y'all to see. It's kind of long. I'll pause in between, okay? So we have here a basketball player by the name of Steven Jackson. He's explaining years ago what he went through with his fiance prior to the wedding night, as far as a prenuptial agreement.
Oh my
I
God.
know exactly what you're talking about.
You know, when you get ready to do a prenup, you both have to agree on it before it's signed. Mm-hmm. I can't just write a prenup, give it to her, and she sign it. We have to both agree with the wording in the prenup before it's signed. But not even before it's even drawn up properly. Mm-hmm. We have to agree on the terms of what's getting drawn up, right? Right. First, let's start there. So she knew what was in it because we had to agree on it. So I had it. So probably a month before the wedding, bro, I gave it to him I know the month of wedding away. I just want to get these papers signed, before we get down there. You know what I'm saying? Before we even go, just get it out the way. Didn't put no pressure on it. 2 weeks passed. It's 2 weeks before we got to go down to the wedding. I remind her, I'm I ain't been an asshole about it. I'm just make sure you get to them papers so I can sign, give it to my lawyer, so before we can get to Houston. Get ready the week of, get ready to go to Houston. Look, bro, just go and sign the papers. I don't know if you're doing this on purpose. The tension's starting to come now. You know what I'm saying? I'm look, I know you ain't deaf. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Just sign the paper, but I know who I'm dealing with. Bam. So we get down there. As we get down there the first day, we both with family doing our thing, seeing everything. So we really ain't seeing each other, right? Because once you get there, the groom go a separate way, the bride go her separate way. We had a nanny. She was not made. She was our nanny because she was keeping our baby. So she was like, Steven, she ain't signed it. I'm like, what? She ain't signed it. I'm like, man, bring it back over there and let her know, man, I'm not gonna have this wedding if she don't sign it, right? Nanny come back. Steven, she ain't gonna sign it. I'm like, she ain't gonna sign it. The preacher jump in. What was going on? I'm not getting. I'm calling the wedding off because she ain't signed the prenup. This nigga say, "Oh, I think we should just let God handle it." Come to find out. Hold on, E. Come to find out. Prior to that, when we was planning the wedding, we argued about this preacher because I didn't know him. I'm from Texas. Why I can't get my preacher from my church around down in there? You know what I'm saying? So the whole time, this the reason why she got this clown because he already don't believe in prenups. Nigga Mike, no, Steve, we ain't doing that, Steve. No, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing it. Mike, man, let's go, Steve. Let's go. Him and Steph, dog. That's why I love my brothers to this day because, bro, I'm talking about to keep it funky, when you get to that position where you want to get married, dog, you want to go through with. You actually found somebody as a man to spend that money and to take that vow and that step and have your you have found somebody who you can actually trust and spend your life with. So I was actually at that point, but that was the best thing to happen to me. And he seen everything she was doing. Bro, see, my lawyer and them had already put me on game. And even after the wedding, he told me exactly what happened. After I called it off, she tried to call me to the room and tried to say that she'll sign it now. Oh, I can't believe you did that. I'll sign it. But the lawyer told me if she's crying or any type of distress or anything like that, don't let her sign it then. Yeah, because they could throw that out saying she wasn't in her right mind. And she tried that too and I didn't fall for it after the wedding.
So that right there is very true. I have seen y'all were able to hear everything, right? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, good. So that's actually very true. And it's not just prenups, it's a lot of contracts. If they if they could prove that they signed it under distress, the judge will rule in favor of the signee.
Right.
So he's definitely right about that. So to give more context, right, this is him explaining the story. It's not the original video. The original video was him 4 years ago. He had went on Instagram Live and explained everything, right? And it's a long video, so I couldn't really clip it up for this. But this is him years later giving a more condensed version of the story. So Steven said that him and his fiance at the time, because they have kids together prior to their wedding day, they actually agreed on a prenup, but he gave her time, but they agreed on the prenup in verbally. And that's why he brought up the whole fact about, okay, why we keep waiting, you said that you were going to sign it in this, that, and third, right? And so, that's the thing. So then when it came to the actual wedding night, she didn't want to sign it. At that point, she never intended to sign it. That's just my opinion.
Right.
So, Meerkat, I'm gonna have you go first. What are your thoughts on this type of method? Or just your overall opinion about that story.
He's I think he's spot on. I mean, he gave her every opportunity to do what she said she would do. She crawfished at the last minute. He should have gotten it signed while they were talking about it, and she was agreeable with it. But what happens is you go back, you talk to your friends, you talk to your family, and they get all up in your head, and really come at the negativity about a prenup, and don't really look at the overall picture of a prenup. So I think that that's probably what happened, and he figured it out, and it was better in the long run that it did happen. It was a shame that they, got to almost to the altar and had to call the wedding off. She should have been more honest and, thoughtful. That conversation needs to happen almost at the very beginning of a relationship when you feel like it's going to be serious, because then someone goes into a relationship with all the information as to who this person is that they're looking to spend the rest of their life with, if you go into a committed relationship. So I think it's something that could be mentioned in light conversation. I don't think it's something you need to have a come to Jesus meeting about when you first start seeing someone. But if you kind of feel like that it's or they need to know what you believe, what your beliefs are. They need to know what your expectations are. I want to know what your expectations are. I want to know what your beliefs are. I want to know, do you have goals in life that you are working toward reaching? And if I can be a part of that or not, it's a choice. We all have choices. Everything in life is a choice. The only thing you don't have a choice about is birth, who your parents are, and what sex you are, basically, if you want to get down to it. But anyway, we have a choice about everything. If somebody's holding a gun to our head, we still have a choice to make. But anyway, prenups he's right. I agree with a lot of everything he said. So that's my opinion.
Yeah. Mila, you were able to see the video, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. You said you were familiar with the story. What's your overall opinion on it right now? I know it's old, but he's explaining it basically in his present time. But what is your thoughts on that?
I feel like he did exactly what he needed to do as a man.
Yeah.
Because if you have to repeatedly say, "Don't forget to sign the prenup, babe," or "Babe, you didn't sign the prenup and give it to me," or my lawyer didn't see us in this office." If you have to constantly tell your significant other that, then she's only in it for the money. And I wholeheartedly agree with what you said, Fifth, about the signing under duress, and them being able to not abiding by the prenup. I agree with you with that, because it's no way you're signing something under duress, and then when he call out the wedding, you get mad and you want to cry and say you're gonna sign it. No, you should have signed it a month ago when he gave it to you, not wait 31 days and then get down there to where the family and friends are and act a mess. But to have the pastor in on it, it's heartbreaking, because you're supposed
Yeah.
to be a man of God. You're supposed to be a man of faith. You're supposed to be a man of honor, and
Right.
you're not showing neither one.
Right. Yeah. That's something. Zacchaeus, what up, brother?
What's good, man? How's everything, y'all? What's good?
What's going on, man?
Blessings, everyone. Blessings to you, Fifth. Always.
Was you listening to the show before you got on?
Yeah, it was a man talking about prenuptial agreement.
Yeah, that was Stephen Jackson. He talked about how he gave his fiance at the time 4 or 5 years ago, a prenuptial agreement that they agreed in principle.
Yeah.
And, she had waited and waited to sign it, and he gave her time up until the wedding night. I mean, actual wedding night.
Yeah.
and she still didn't sign it. And so he called off the wedding.
Well, it's all a matter of being able to trust each other. But I know he's trying to protect himself, and because it's like that was supposed to be discussed before they even talk about getting married.
Of course, I think him giving her.
Yeah.
One could say her giving her all that time to sign it is on his part, right? Because that should have been signed at the latest the day before.
Yes.
Especially, well, I mean, before that, really, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of being somewhat cavalier, but really, yes. Right. Because
she didn't want to sign it.
Going into a marriage. So that person is not there for just your income, your assets.
Yeah, she didn't want to sign. She didn't want to sign. She didn't want to.
Yeah, and he expressed that he really wanted to marry this woman. So I guess the part of him of being someone who desired to marry this woman so bad also made him a little more lenient on her. And that's why he trusted her so much that he trusted her on her wedding day to actually say it. Let me read something real quick, and I'm gonna let you get back to your point. My bad. I ain't mean to really cut in, but I do want to read this. So our brother RCB said this. He said, "I just think that prenuptial agreements, although understandable in this day and age, serves as a mental note of divorce being inevitable." Zacchaeus, you can respond to that. Oh, unmute Zacchaeus. I got you.
Yeah, you automatically say that you're dooming the marriage. That's what RCBC is saying. It's already putting doomsday on it. Because I mean, with the prenuptial agreement, I understand money's involved in it, and most people say that marriage is a business, so they put the prenuptial agreement. They put it in there, especially if a man is making six figures or more than beyond that, athlete, class A movie star, male. So they put that prenuptial agreement in there, and so you're already putting a damper on it already from the get go. So it's inevitable. It's only a matter of time, because I guess it's more like a test to see if you sign this prenuptial agreement that you won't need me for you won't take everything I have if you leave. So it's already like a damper in it a little bit. That's what it is. That's basically what it is. So, yeah.
Well, glad you said that, because this makes me want to talk about this video right here, because I have an opinion that may be different from people. So let me get this one ready, and I want to see what y'all think. It's very quick, so we're gonna have to listen to what is said at the end. Okay, I probably have to play it twice.
Everybody has a prenup. Either the government makes one or you make one yourself. And I have always been someone that thinks very negatively towards prenups. My husband and I, when we were married, granted we were broke, but we always felt that the word divorce was out of the question, and that if you're even considering a prenup, then you're opening yourself up to the possibility of a divorce. So I wanted your opinion as a Christian, as somebody who is wealthy. What is your perspective on prenups?
I would just say whoever you're listening to is only looking at the advice they're giving through a singular lens. Our approach is we believe that personal finance is 80% behavior, and we've proven that. It's not about math, and it's not about that stuff. So our approach is that the prenup actually could end up stunting your growth because you're not all in on working together.
Okay, that was. Were you able to digest that? It's a
Dave
short
Ramsey,
clip.
I know him. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard what he said, which I don't agree with because that sounds insane. If y'all both go into something and one person has more than the other, and you feel like, oh, down the line, I don't think, you know, down the line in the marriage, that is, not the relationship, down the line in the marriage, oh, this person is doing the most, they're not the same, all because we have a little more income. Um, it's not fair to the person with the most income, if you ask me, because now that you know I have more money and I've been bringing it in, why why would you want to get a divorce? I'm sorry if my background loud.
Yeah.
It's my kids and my cousins. I'm sorry. Um, why would you want to divorce me right then and there because there's more money added to the relationship? We should be trying to grow together. So I don't agree that the man is. I don't agree with whoever he said is being selfish. I call it being mindful because you never know if that other person is being spiteful.
Okay. Meerkat, what you think?
He does. I mean, he kind of makes a valid point, but um, I don't know. Like I said, I've signed a prenup. The marriage didn't work out because of, he wasn't really good with my son, and so when he brought it to me to sign a prenup, I didn't have a problem with it. I signed a prenup for the ring. I'm not the type of person, I don't take what does not belong to me. If I've gone into a relationship, I leave with what I came with. And that's just me. I'm not there to take. I'm not there for what's not mine. Of course, marriage lasted like 5 years. No, 3 years. I'm sorry, 3 years. But we had a grown son together. He was like 26. And we had gotten back together after 26 years of being apart, and we got married. And of course, my younger son, his dad had died when he was 7 months old. But anyway, he was a good provider. I mean, I didn't have to work. I stayed home, but he was very rule based. He was very, very rule based. I mean, it was like rules without a relationship. And then he tried to make a rule that I was not going to abide by. And then he drew the line and said, I will no longer financially support him if you don't do this. And I'm like, okay, I'm looking for a job and a place to live. I mean, because you're not going to do that to me, and I'm not going to choose a man over my child. And he did that. Then he accused me of abandoning him for another man, another male, is what he said. Anyway, our older son was not happy with him at all. He did not like that at all. But anyway, Dave Ramsey is very, very analytical as far as finances. He has a lot of good tips. He's a good advisor. He even has good relationship advice. But as I worked in child support court and protective order court for 10 years, I was a minute clerk, and it gave me a whole different perspective on how bad relationships ending, oh my God, can happen. So that's why I have an opinion about prenups. It's because 10 years of seeing people, I mean, at their ungodly worst, gives you a different perspective. And these are people that were married for a long time, and life happens. Life happens and it changes you. Sometimes you're changed for the better, and sometimes you're changed for the worst. And, you just can't say my marriage will never end, because you just do not know. But a prenup, you cannot hyper focus on a prenup. I mean, you just can't do that. I mean, if someone wants a prenup, that's their choice, and that's your choice. If you don't want to have to be a part of that, find someone else, But if you are there for the right reasons, a prenup should not bother you because you're not there for that reason. And you can be also protect yourself in the wording of a prenup. I mean, you can have your own special requirements in there that should they decide they don't want to be married anymore, or they're not a good provider, or they're not a good parent, spouse, you can protect yourself. And I don't know. I don't think you should hyper focus on that. I really, really don't. It's, either you're marrying for the right reasons or you're not. But I don't know. The world is worldly and, God is godly. Man, how many people in church get divorced? I mean, how many pastors get divorced? I mean, it's just, we're human beings. God knew what he created when he created us. So I don't know. I'll land there.
Yeah, real quick, let me acknowledge a new subscriber.
You'll be under.
All right. Shout outs to the new subscriber, man. So Beyonda, I don't know if you were listening before you got on. Were you able to hear some of the show? Okay, let me give him I had muted you because you had background noise, but you can go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I heard nothing. I heard nothing. I was on the road for about an hour and a half prior to coming home. I didn't hear anything, but I didn't really even had a chance to dive into the question that you provided for us today.
So the topic,
yeah,
prenups in marriage, smart protection, or planning for divorce. That is the grand topic. But I'm playing clips of things that we can understand, and then we're going to actually get into the core of the topic. So there's a quick clip. The first one's kind of long. I'm not going to play that one again. That was Steven Jackson talking about how his fiance didn't want to sign a prenup on their wedding night. But I'm going to play the basketball player. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was years ago. Let me play this clip from Dave from the Ramsey show. Let me see if I can play this again. I want you to see what he got to say about his opinion about prenups.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a prenup. Either the government makes one or you make one yourself. And I have always been someone that thinks very negatively towards prenups. My husband and I, when we were married, granted we were broke, but we always felt that the word divorce was out of the question, and that if you're even considering a prenup, then you're opening yourself up to the possibility of a divorce. So I wanted your opinion as a Christian, as somebody who is wealthy. What is your perspective on prenups?
I would just say whoever you're listening to is only looking at the advice they're giving through a singular lens. Our approach is we believe that personal finance is 80% behavior, and we've proven that. It's not about math, and it's not about that stuff. So our approach is that the prenup actually could end up stunting your growth because you're not all in on working together.
All right, Beyonda, you got that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do you think?
I think he has a point. He's not wrong, but a lot of people navigate life through a worldly lens, I guess. It's very secular. So a lot of young guys are being taught to protect themselves, because if you're leveling up as a man and obtaining status and wealth and whatnot, it's important to protect yourself against women that are out to get you, I guess. So it's more, when I hear that advice, it's more of a defensive thing, I guess. But what he's saying, the guy that just talked, I mean, when you're all in together, you're not really worried about the math and the numbers and whatnot. It's more of it's really your mindset, I guess. So if you're if you know each other well to get married and say this is forever, then the likelihood of you getting divorced or even having to worry about that is very slim to none. Especially if like your life is like, if your marriage's foundation is Christ, then you shouldn't have to worry about getting a divorce. And then the prenup like doesn't really matter, because then it puts a thought in the other person's head that the prenup was for or against, I guess, and then they have like that thought going into the marriage, and so now they're gonna like act differently, I guess, over time. I'll end there.
I think people have thoughts about going into a marriage for their own reasons, and sometimes they don't express that, and you don't find out till years later with kids that they were planning stuff all along and you were manipulated. But I mean, that's somebody that needs counseling that thinks that way anyway. But you know, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I got. I know sometimes I wait a long time for me to get my perspective. It's because I don't think I have to go first, per se. I just let everybody get theirs in before I go. So I don't agree with what Ramsey is saying. Because well, I don't know if he's being absolute. And y'all know me, I don't speak in absolutes. I don't know if he's being absolute. I can't say that everyone that has proposed a prenup is not all in. Because the same argument could be made if she didn't sign it or he didn't sign it, that they wasn't all in. See how that works out? So it's very difficult to me to say that fits in all cases. Because beyond that, I don't know if there's a study out there. Maybe there is, maybe there's not. That tells me how many marriages that have lasted versus with a prenup versus marriages without one. Because if the results that we're seeing is marriages that lasted shorter with a prenup versus without one, that had nothing to do with the prenup. I'm willing to prove that there are probably marriages that ended sooner because there wasn't a prenup. If there was a hidden agenda, and the hidden agenda is, I just need to stay long enough for me to get what I need out of this separation. Because if the prenup was, go ahead, Zacchaeus.
Yeah. How many? Let me ask this question now. Who do you think does prenuptial agreements? Is it the 1%? Who does prenuptial agreements?
Prenups are so my opinion is prenups are usually advised towards mostly men who have a particular income status compared to the woman that they married. And the reason why I said men is because women typically who make more than men don't marry them. So I have to go with the facts that this is more aimed at men, and these are usually men who have certain advisors or whatever, whether it be family or from a logistics standpoint, legal standpoint. Go ahead, Zacchaeus.
Yeah. So because you was comparing the people that do sign prenuptial agreements to people that don't have prenuptial agreements, and of course, I think the people that don't have much prenuptial agreements, they're the majority of people. The majority of people is not part of the 1%. So the majority of people will always, majority of people that's divorced than people that have prenuptial agreements.
Yes, that's fair.
Yeah. Yes, because when I think about prenuptial agreement, you think about the 1%, which is the rich male who has the prenuptial agreement.
Yeah.
And of course, it'll be a landslide of when the comparison will be more people that don't have prenuptial agreement getting divorced because of all different situations, and everything. Yeah, people divorce with money, and they don't even have a prenuptial agreement, and divorce over money, and divorce over infidelity, all type of things. So yeah, prenuptial agreements. Um, yeah, if you're focused, and I agree with that. If you focus on the, if you have the right intentions, support each other, love each other, respect each other, then it's gonna work. Prenuptial agreement will be about, like what Mary Cat said, it will be the least thing to look at and worry about. It'll be the least thing to worry about. I know people do prenuptial agreements to protect themselves, protect their assets, but this is why the Bible. That's why the Bible is so correct when it says when you're married, you become one flesh. You become one flesh. So when you're, and people do get divorced in the church a lot too. but the Bible is right. When you're one flesh, you shouldn't even be a talk. It is a talk, but it shouldn't even be like a big emphasis on that, you know?
Well, Zacchaeus, you don't know what kind of wife you got until she wants a divorce. This is what I mean when I say this. I'm not talking about you. Mm-hmm. I'm just talking about in general. Yeah. There are many men that are with women, right? Mm-hmm. And in the relationship, things are going good.
Right.
Then when they break up, man.
Well, yeah. It's hell. It's hell. It's hell.
It could go bad on either side.
Yes. There's people that are believers that go through hell divorce. I mean, that go through like serious divorce. I mean, to the point where I've had a friend that, man, well, yeah, I'm not gonna call his name, but divorced terribly. Was going to the same church I was going to, but knew him for years. Knew this brother for years, and they divorced. I mean, they had kids and everything, but their divorce was bitter, man. You ever heard of a bitter divorce? Well, that feedback is tough. Yeah.
That was my fault. Go ahead.
Man.
Of course I had.
Oh. Gosh. I mean, you talk about when he got divorced, it's like all that. She sued for every little thing. Alimony. She sued for every little. He was like, listen, Zacchaeus, you don't want to go down this path. Make sure that, because when you marry the wrong person, I'm going to say, when you marry the wrong person, you suffer. That's what he told me. You don't want to go down this path, man. When you marry the wrong person, you suffer, man. You suffer hard. And it's true. So just gotta pray and ask God to that you're in unison, and you both building together, supportive of each other. Because even before you get married, you see some red flags. You see, but people jump and get married anyway. You see certain things, but and then you cry boo-hoo. when it comes to divorce, now you see the real monster come out when you see divorce. So yeah,
you see it in child support court. I've been in child support court for 10 years, and I'm telling you what, it is one of the most lethal courtrooms in a courthouse. Believe me, because the level of hatred, and you're in people's pocket, okay, and when they hate that other person, it's got nothing to do with the kids, but the kids are going to suffer the worst, and they get traumatized, and there was so many times I'm like, we need to like sprinkle some holy water around in this place, because it was just, it's just been bad.
Hey, I got to yeah.
So I guess my question is, right, and so I feel like I have some other questions here. If you are, as the person who gets the prenup, or they interpret it as, oh, they're marrying me because they don't love me, can that be interpreted in some kind of way? If a prenup is proposed? Because we could say that on one side, if the person doesn't sign it, then we could say, oh, well, did they really love us because they didn't sign it? And secondly, Zacchaeus, it's not always what you have going into the marriage, it's what also you can inherit. So you may not have it today, but there's something in a will that says when this happens, the husband or the wife can inherit all of this stuff. And maybe they may be wanting to protect that.
Oh, yes.
Prenuptial agreement.
It's a smart thing to always have a will and a trust. That's the smartest thing to do. We did that. It's a smart thing to have a will and a trust. You have to do that. Because you don't want to pass it, then everything goes, you want to do that. That's very important, man. You do. But when it comes to prenuptial agreements and prenups, I don't know much about it because I never did it. But I'm sure that a person that's with a whole, they're trying to protect their. All I look at it is they're trying to protect their assets. They're trying to protect certain things and certain things. They're trying because some people really don't trust. Let's face it, and some people live by that. They don't trust nobody, so they really try to protect themselves by doing the prenuptial agreement. Because it's a matter of let me protect my assets. Let me protect mine. Let me protect mine. Yeah, I give something to my kids, my money to my inheritance to my kids, but I don't know what this lady's gonna do. I don't know.
So I think something can be conflated in this way. I think we have to understand that child support and prenups is different.
Right. I mean, I get that. I'm just talking about the character of people, that were once so committed, que sera, sera, they, oh Lord, I've got some horror stories.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, because a prenup doesn't protect you from child support.
No. That's there regardless.
Yeah.
That's there regardless.
Yeah. But I think that's the conversation. So there was a woman, she used to be, she was engaged to a college football player who got drafted, right?
Right.
And she talked about how she didn't want to sign the prenup. And one of her reasons was, well, what if we have 5 kids? Okay, you have 5 kids and there's child support. And? So the prenup does not absolve you from child support. That's I think that's the confusion right there.
No, it's there. The child support's going to be there, and it's based on what you make and what she makes.
Exactly.
And then they do a percentage as to who has the children the most. So there's an offset in percentages. Who makes more, that offsets the percentages. And it comes down to that this parent is responsible for so much based on all these things, and the other parent is responsible. So, I've been in child support court with a professional athlete, and she was awarded $10,000 a month for child support. Who needs $10,000 a month to live on for child support? To support your kids. But there's a lifestyle you have to consider. And so.
Well, because here's the thing. You know what's disguised, and I know this is not about child support per se, but I brought it up only because, like I said, there was a woman who said that when she didn't want to sign the prenup, the night of the wedding, another one. Here we go. Like, you just so happen to be engaged to a football player. I'm not even talking about Dak Prescott in his situation, but you just so happen to be with a football player. So we're not going to act like you're not with him because he's a football player. That's number one. Number two. So you not signing a prenup and you saying that you had to choose you first. So code word. Yeah, I'm not going to marry this man and not get nothing. Not happening. And then you put the kids into it like as if, oh, well, the kids won't get nothing if I sign that prenuptial agreement. No.
Yeah,
they inherit. They inherit regardless of a prenup. They're going to inherit.
Exactly.
It don't work that way.
It may save you from alimony, but child support, no.
Oh,
Go ahead, Beyonder.
That is a terrible reason. I hate
you.
the argument of supporting the lifestyle. Like, what is that about? Like, living above your means. Like, it's not about you; it's about the kids. So if I'm getting money from the kid, that's one thing. But I'm not supporting your life because we're still married. But like, at that point, we're still married, but you're not entitled to be with me. I guess doesn't make any sense.
Well, Beyonder, right?
Supporting someone's lifestyle. There's no way.
Right. Well, beyond the peep game, right? I want everybody to respond to this when I say this, and then I'm gonna get into the next thing. Beyonder, I saw a video, and I think Zach Kids, me and you may have touched on this on our podcast a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. There was a woman, she said that the reason why she doesn't want to, this is what she said. She said she'll sign a prenup, but this is what she'll do. She's going to get something out of it. She's not going to want to pay any bills. And while the lifestyle that he's providing for the family, she's going to take that money, put it into a bank account, right? So that while you were spending money on her and spending your bread, that she been stacking hers because that's her emergency plan. She said that she has done this in relationships, but she said if a man come to her with a prenup, she said she'll agree as long as that's her strategy.
That's stupid.
But beyond that, what if I told you I knew somebody like that? What if I told you that I know of a woman who didn't say the quiet part out loud, but on her way out of her divorce, she changed everything about her. Lost some weight, got a job, got everything, right? Mm-hmm. But during the whole marriage, she ain't help worth a dang. But on her way out, she got her act together. Mm-hmm. And when she left the marriage, she was the one who was debt free. But during the whole time of the marriage, she created debt, put the man in debt. And now when it's time to go, all right, see you later.
Wow.
That's rare though. A lot of times divorce usually like benefits women financially for a little bit, but over time men benefit more because men are able to like bounce back a lot better than women are. Because no one's gonna go for a divorced woman with kids. That's usually like not the case. But a man can get someone better. Or I guess, like someone that they can still love, But like a man like isn't gonna go for a divorced woman. At least not most of the time.
Especially if you have like a lot of kids or
exactly, yeah.
These are small. That's like a big turnoff.
Yeah.
If the kids are small, the kids are grown, then it's a different story altogether. But
yeah, like if like you're a man but you're divorced too and have kids, and sure you can make it work. But like if you're a single man, have no kids, want a future with somebody, and like the woman is like 29, 30, but she has like 4 kids. I mean, you're kind of cooked. I can lie.
Yeah, it's like nah.
Kind of cooked.
Yeah, but speak to the strategy though. Like Zacchaeus, I know you got an opinion on that, man. Like that strategy.
The strategy?
Yeah, the strategy I'm talking about. How during the whole marriage, a lousy wife, but all of a sudden, when you want to divorce this man, after you done got his credit all disgusting now, he done went from an 800 to a 450.
Yeah. Messed them up.
And while you was pocketing his bread, paying off your debt, he came into the relationship, he came into the marriage debt free, left with a mountain of debt. You came in with debt and you left debt free.
Wow. Yeah. Yep.
It ain't gonna have that man thinking, oh, finally my wife is things are getting better between us. Nope. Gentlemen, you have been are you such and such Mr. So and so? Oh yeah. You've been served.
Yeah.
But
Oh my God.
I'll say this. Say this. That's the man's fault. Sorry. I got a call. It's the man's fault. Okay.
The man's fault. Oh. Mm-hmm.
Men have got to take accountability. If you're marrying that woman, gosh, if you're marrying that woman and she serves you on the way out, loses weight, has money, that's your fault.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Because you didn't see the signs before. You're more so worried about like the surface stuff, but you never get to know her for who she actually is. Well, that's your fault.
Yeah, I agree, because sometimes certain signs you ignore, the signs you ignore turns around and bite you at the end. Certain things that you ignore, is you've seen certain things, but you brush it over. You see that she's greedy, she's money hungry, but you brush it over. You see that she's draining your pockets every time. She's draining you and running and playing those lottery tickets and going to the slot machine and going to the you going to the casino. You brush it over. You see
Right.
that she's self-centered, and most of the time she's self-centered, and just more, and you have to always cater to her needs, but you brush it over. You just wave it over. And you see certain things, you see certain signs of certain things, but you know what you do, and you see that she's a selfish person. She never considers you. It's always about her, and you brush it over. And then on your way out, on her way out, I have to say on her way out, then you left with you're left with the mountain of debt. You're broke, filing bankruptcy, and whoo.
Now, is the woman evil for that? Yes, she is. But
Yeah.
you enabled it. See, a lot of people don't realize that men we're like the defense for this nonsense. But when we let our guard down, these things happen. You know what I mean? If you're a man and you have common sense and you were raised right, even if you didn't have a dad, I didn't have a dad growing up, right? My dad wasn't in my life, but I grew up having common sense. Like this wouldn't happen to me because I wouldn't let it. You know, like if you have the common sense and you're around people that have common sense, you'll be good. But a lot of guys they get the money, they get this false reality of who they are. Oh, I'm the man. I'm gonna marry a trophy wife. Blah blah blah. They don't have the right mindset. That's why they end up going broke when they get divorced. Okay, that's their fault. You know.
Hello.
It is what it is. You know.
Hello.
I don't wish that on any man ever. I don't wish that, but you have to learn. It's better to learn. It's better to get hurt when you're younger, so that when you're older and you get married,
more wise.
It won't happen again.
Yeah, you get more wise. Yeah,
you gotta have experience, you know. And if you're inexperienced, then you're kind of not cut out for the dating stuff, especially today. Today, 2026, having experience,
a lot of mercy.
It's like a lamb to slaughter. It's like leading a lamb to slaughter.
I gotta talk to Meerkat real quick. She's the only woman on the panel. So Meerkat, there was a woman that you've experienced that have come on my TikTok live some weeks ago. There was a topic that I did on TikTok. It was called Does love come with conditions?
Yeah, I remember that topic.
Okay. There was a woman on the panel. I'm gonna just call her Big U. She said that she would sign a prenup because we got into the topic of prenups, right?
Right.
She said she would sign a prenup. But then she also said, well, but here's what my prenup is going to say. She said, I'm going to have a post-nup.
Yeah, you can do that too.
6 months into the marriage.
Yeah.
And I gave an example, right? I said, she said that she could love a man on a different scale if he had a prenup because she knows that it's not all about the money. She said that on one side of her mouth. But on the other side of her mouth, she said, I asked her, I said, well, if we were, I said, if we were married and we started a business together, because we're protecting what we got before we come into the marriage.
Right.
And I said to her, if we were married and I own a business, don't we split it? She said, no. She said, my prenup's going to say that I should get 80% of the business and you should get 20.
Oh my God.
Red flag.
Business and you get 20.
But it goes back to the percentage of who brought to the table with what. You know, where did it come from? How much was it? How much effort is put into it? What type of business is it? You know, you can equally come into a business administratively or physically, you know, or you can come in together and, you know, work it out, or you can come in with, you know, because you've got kids and stuff. So one party can't be there, you know, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, or sometimes it's a lot more. But that would all have to go before a judge sometimes if the marriage didn't work out. But you can come in with a post-nup, and you know, because everybody wants to protect what they've worked hard for. I mean, I would. I mean, I don't know if y'all would. I mean, I don't know.
I just feel like there was a time where like a prenup wasn't like prevalent. But it's a new time now. You know,
it is. It very much is.
Either going to adapt or you're going to sink.
You know, I mean, if you're not in it for what they've got or what they have the potential to build, and then why not sign a prenup? I mean,
yeah,
you know,
if you get lucky with someone who doesn't care about that stuff, then sure, don't get the prenup. But like, that's rare. You know,
right?
You know, like,
I mean, I've signed a prenup. You know, I didn't have any qualms about it at all. I wasn't there for it. You know, I wasn't there for that. You know, I genuinely love this man. So I didn't have a problem with it. I wasn't. I don't take what doesn't belong to me. I don't take what I didn't work for.
My thing is like, if you're like, I understand if like you're averaging like 100K plus, I get it. You know, that's both sides, women or men. You know, I totally get it, because at that point, like, you're seen as someone that like is this status person, high status. You know, oh, people know who you are on social media, whatever. So like, it's really hard to gauge whether or not someone's dating you for who you are or for what you got. So if you want to get a prenup, that's fine. But for us average Joes down here, don't know if that's necessarily like needed, because I don't have the money.
Well, he was not.
What if your net worth? I'm sorry, Midcat.
He wasn't extremely wealthy either, you know, but he had worked. He was an engineer. He was not a people person. He was an engineer, super analytical. I mean, super analytical, super, and meticulous to a fault. And so that made him feel more at ease. It made him feel more confident in who I was. And I was good with that.
Well, let's talk about assets.
Right.
So you may not have 100K in your bank account sitting idly, but you could be worth that.
Right.
How is your net worth? Real estate, businesses, inheritance, goes into what you're worth.
Right.
So I may not be able to pull that money out of my account, but guess what? I have things that I have acquired over time, right? I may have. I'm speaking for a couple of people that I know.
Right.
I could be an average earner or slightly above average earner, but still below a high earner, but still be worth what it is that I got. And once I go in that courtroom, that wife is going to want that. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, the judge might give it to him too. You know,
If I had it, and let me tell you something, and I'm going to play this clip. Zacchaeus, you're going to be familiar with it. I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't care if all I own is a shoebox. It's mine.
It's your shoebox.
It's mine. And let me tell you something. A vindictive woman will want that too.
Yep, they will. They will go to the bar of soap. They will go to a half-used tube of toothpaste.
Okay.
I've seen that. I've seen that in court. They were auctioning off down to the freaking bar of freaking soap and toothpaste. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Wow.
But that is how they was just poking each other. And the judge just finally said, what do you want to pay for it? What do you want? I mean, he just got sick of it. I mean, he got tired of it. There's another case. There's a lawyer in New York. I heard on a podcast. They were interviewing this lawyer, and he had written up thousands of prenups. He said there was one case in particular. These people were worth millions of dollars. I mean, it was just ridiculous. He said they had everything worked out, and they got down to a toaster oven. He said in the time he could have ordered both of them a brand new toaster oven, but neither one would relinquish the toaster oven. Everything fell apart because of it wasn't the toaster oven. It was something else, but the whole thing fell apart over a stupid toaster oven. And he said it was bad. And he was a lawyer, and so he had the opinion of every marriage should have a guideline. You want to say, don't say prenup. So I want to drop some guidelines that we are going to live by. I want to live. What do you have to contribute to these guidelines if you want to make it not so threatening? And in the event you don't want to follow these are the consequences, and in a form of a prenup. So does that make sense?
No problem. Hey, I want to play something. This is what I was talking about. Okay.
Something to say?
Yes, on the prenup agreement. I think if a man presents a prenup agreement and we're going to get married, I would sign it. I would not have a problem with it because I definitely want you to protect yourself in this marriage. And if we ever do divorce, you have everything that you came in with. I also would be able to love
and also so do you. And also
Yes,
so do you.
but-
You get to keep right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I will be able to love him on a different scale. But I also know that with him having a prenup agreement, I'm gonna have a prenup agreement too. So we both gonna sign on the same day. Also, so I'm gonna look at the marriage not.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen very carefully. Play more.
As I'm gonna look at it as love. I love you unconditionally, but I'm also gonna look at it as everything that I benefit from having two people instead of one person, I can do it twice as more. So this is my advantage for me to come up more on being in this marriage because financially it's not going to hurt me.
Zacchaeus,
Just
did
not
you
gonna-
did you catch that right there?
Yeah, I said financially it's not gonna hurt me.
No, before that, she said, "Come up."
Come up, yeah.
Yeah. I'll play more.
Mm-hmm.
In the
Wait, can you repeat that? I'm not being cynical. Can you repeat that? You said
Okay.
before you said come up. I just want to make sure I heard you clearly. That's all.
Yeah. So I would sign a prenup agreement. I would sign his and he would sign mine. I know that this is a come up. And when I say come up, I know that I will be able to expand my knowledge to just say get degrees, get that really good job that I've been trying to get. But since now I have another person, 2 hits is better than one. Now I can get that job because I have somebody backing me, right? He gonna watch the kids while I'm working my job. I'm gonna watch the kids while he's working his job. So I can make Instead of making just say 40,000, now I can make that 100,000. Because if we ever get divorced, you can't touch the 100,000 I'm making a year at all. So I'm a benefit from having a prenup of my own, protecting my assets as he protect his. I know I'm gonna be okay. So I feel like it's a safety measure, definitely. With signing his and him signing mine, it's not gonna be, I'm gonna love you through it, but I'm not gonna have that same respect and that same, compromising on my end for him, with him having that prenup that he would have for me with signing that prenup.
Okay.
Because if we divorce, it's nothing, no benefit.
Okay, so stay right there. Prenups are to protect before. Once you're together, say like me and you are married, right? Because I just paid attention closely to what you're saying in terms of the point that you made about, where I'm signing his and he's signing mine. So it's almost like you're saying that your prenuptial agreement could be different from his. But before I get to that, let's say me and you are married and we start a business together. Our business is successful. If we get a divorce, we're both entitled to the assets of that business, right?
No, because my agreement is going to say something totally different on my prenuptial agreement. We're going to sign one.
Tell me what it says. Yeah.
So in my agreement, if I signed the beginning of it before, like I had this before we came in, but during, we're going to sign a prenup of marriage 6 months into the marriage. We're going to sign this. The business that we have, we're going to put that under the agreement that if we get divorced, I get 80% and he gets 20.
Wait a minute. The business that you guys created, not the business before, but the business you two created together, you're going to tell him that he should get 20 and you get 80?
I get 80 because I had to, just say if we have children, the cause is if we have children, then I get 80% of the business because I had to risk my life to have our legacy, right? And I did that. And then also, just say if we don't have children, I married you and I gave the rest of my life to you. I'm putting value on my life because I could have just remained single, but I loved you, so I married you and I took our vows and I'm taking them seriously. 80% should go to me because I still gotta take care of myself. If we get a divorce, you gotta take care of yourself, but it's gonna be easier for you with being a man than it is gonna be for a woman going out and back into the work field.
Beyonder, you have the floor.
He kind of speechless. Talking about going around the world to get across the street. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
You can't make this stuff up, Beyonder.
I don't have anything. I don't know what else to. What I would say is that if any guy allows that, then I don't know. That is pretty stupid, I'd say.
It's very selfish.
I mean,
somebody should put a ring in his nose instead of on his finger.
I don't know, Fifth. That's crazy. I never heard that before. I've never heard those words uttered by a human being. That you have a business together. I take 80, you take 20. I don't know how that works. I don't know what
you have kids. That's why I sacrificed my life for you. I got kids for you.
Yeah, but even if they didn't have kids, she was still 10 toes down. She said, because I'm a woman and he's a man. That's why I deserve that.
He said that with confidence too. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I heard that too. She thinks highly of herself, really,
very much so.
In a huge way.
20%, man.
80 to 20.
I don't know, man. I don't know where you find these people, Fifth. I don't.
I don't. These people find me.
Yeah, they find him.
They find me. So
I found it too, but I didn't have like this wild mindset about stuff. I just
thank God for that. There's still good people out there on TikTok.
Yeah,
I mean, and there are bad ones too.
Yeah, mostly bad.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah,
she's probably still looking for a man to sign the prenup. She's probably still looking for a man to be like, well, I'll date you. I got you as long as you agree with me. If we get married, I do 80, you do 20.
I got a question. How old is she?
She's in her 30s.
She's cooked. Never mind.
It'll probably be a eunuch man. A man who's a eunuch is who she'll find.
Nah, she's fifth. She's cooked.
Her goose is cooked, right?
She cooked her own goose, I think.
Yeah. She appeared on a what episode is that? She appeared on a later episode, and boy, did she show out.
I think I was there.
Is that the wordsmith?
No, that's no.
It sounded kind of like her.
Jess was on that episode as well, and Jess was very quiet when that woman was talking. But that particular woman, she has been on my panel. Regardless what she has said, she has been very respectful of my platform. So this is why I let her come on. But she hasn't been on in a while.
Yeah.
But when she comes on, I let her speak.
She's got a lot to say. She really has a lot to say.
Right. And I remember me and Kat, you was on that show.
Yeah.
And you said, "Oh my God, I can't believe what I'm hearing." And I said, "This is why." And I said, "This is why this is me and your job and people like us to warn our children and our generation after us, because to not run into something like that."
Yeah.
And like I said, that woman has been very respectful. I have nothing bad to say about her, but I let her go because I don't want nobody thinking I planned that. I let her get up here and speak what she speak, and I don't agree with it, but doesn't mean I support it, but I don't agree with what she says, but I let her say what she got to say because now people know I'm not lying.
Right.
See, a lot of times, and I'm going to tell you something, Meerkat, I don't think other women understand that men, we have our reasons for what we say because we're the ones that are actually dealing with women in real time.
Right.
Women show other women different stuff than what they show men.
Right.
I think that's something they don't understand. We understand that as men, when women say they experienced things that we wouldn't see from our guy friends, because there are things that a woman is going to see that we wouldn't see behind closed doors that our homeboys would do. I get it, right? So we acknowledge that as men already. But before Beyonda goes, I did want to play something for Beyonda.
Okay.
Because he's got a timeout. So let me play this real quick, man, because I want you to see this.
There are only 3 reasons that a woman would not agree to a prenup. Number 1, because she is solely interested in being taken care of and having financial security. Number 2, she's emotionally unstable and immature. And number 3, it's showing the degree of her selfishness and self-centeredness. And if she's any of these 3 and not willing to sign a prenup, there is a high risk of divorce, and she is going to be on the high end of the spectrum of woman ways that I talk about. So men want to be looking for, how is she going to gaslight you that this isn't a good thing and that you are somehow wrong and bad for suggesting it or insensitive?
What you think, Beyonda?
Well, you said that prenups protect before, right? On both
Yes,
parties,
sir. Yes, sir.
but not during. So like whatever we acquire.
Whatever we acquire together, we have to divvy out fairly. Yes.
Yeah, okay. I think what you said is spot on. I feel like, you know. And I feel like anyone who actually like understands a prenup wouldn't be they'd be okay with that. You know. I feel like what she said is spot on, you know. I don't see any problems with it. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said before, like prenups are usually like for guys that are like have like they already have like a lot of money in the status. They're already having like if you're averaging like 500K plus a year, or even like I would say 300K plus a year, you're gonna want to protect your assets before, because if you had that before you met the girl, you could be able to have that prior. That shouldn't that doesn't that what you earned before shouldn't be like given to her because you're married. That doesn't make any sense. But what you acquire together, I mean, it makes sense. So I'll say what the lady said was pretty spot on. I don't see any problem with that. I don't see why people would have a problem signing it anyway.
I mean, if you buy a car, you have to sign a contract. If you buy a house, you have to sign a contract. They don't trust me because they think I'm not going to pay for it. It's the same kind of. People have no problem signing a mortgage. They have no problem signing a contract for a car, and those are valuable assets to have. A house is a big thing, So, and the bank can go bankrupt, and what's the life of the mortgage. So we are trained to sign contracts. So
I can see why it's needed, because there's people that have ulterior motives. There's people that would marry you just because.
Right.
Because you're a certain status, or you have some kind of huge assets, or you have some kind of huge investment or something like that. So, and some people come with it. If you didn't have it, they would not even look at you. I mean, because
Right.
you have that
Right.
huge investment, that huge asset in and you have a huge real estate. So all of a sudden now she wants to marry you. This is a person that never looked at you. This is a person that would never even look at you. But because you inquire so much, you have so much, all of a sudden now you're beautiful to her, you're this to her, you're wonderful. So yes, this is where it's needed. Just because there's people that have ulterior motives, they just thinking that, well, he has this, that's why I marry him. He's gonna give me this great security, that's why I'm marrying him. So that's why the prenuptial agreement is pushed. Hey, you signed the wedding, you signed the wedding, you signed wedding papers anyway. Why not sign one more sheet, right?
What is a marriage license?
Right.
A marriage license is a contract.
It's a contract.
You're signing
right.
a contract that you're legally bound to this person.
Right.
Not morally.
Yes.
You're legally bound to this person.
Right.
And with certain expectations. I mean, there's general expectations and there's specific expectations, and some of those are not verbalized. Sometimes the man is held to the standard of their own dad, and they have no idea that what's coming, because that's not expressed. You need to have these hard conversations in the dating process. That's what the purpose of a dating process is to find out who this person is. I brought up the show Love is Blind. I don't know if y'all have ever watched Love is Blind, but
I watch it.
Yeah.
They get to know each other supposedly, before they ever meet each other. So they take the physical aspect out of it to see if you can get down to who this core person is. But if the person is unwilling to show you who they are, how are you going to know?
Yeah.
And they can be very convincing. I mean, they can be very convincing.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
You need to go do background checks on people that you're considering dating. I mean, you shouldn't have to, but oh my God, there's too much. There's too much. There's too much child molestation. There's too much rape. There's too much abuse. The abuse is horrible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head out.
A lot of scammers out there too.
Peace,
Scammers.
But I'll be on tomorrow. What's the topic for tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about it.
Oh, we thinking about that, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't have a topic for tomorrow, I'll see if I could send you something. Okay.
Yeah, I'll message it for you. I got Thursday's topic. Dr. Love is gonna co-host with me Thursday.
Okay, so
on Thursday's TikTok.
I'll see what I can see what I can do for tomorrow.
Catch you later. Have a good night.
Night, Yonder.
I'm gonna head out too, Fifth. Yo, blessings and greetings, and Fifth at night. Keep it locked. Fifth at night. Next Monday we got the TikTok lives Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
1 p.m. Yes, 1 p.m. Well, blessings and greetings to everyone. I'll see y'all next time. Till next time.
Thank you. Same to you, Sue.
Yeah, definitely. Blessings.
Blessings.
So I do got one more clip to play since this is just me and you up here, Midcat.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and play this. And then I'm just gonna end this out soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Peep this.
Why should women want a prenup as much as men?
J-Lo's learning this the hard way, and I gave this piece of advice last year on my friend Lewis Howe's podcast, The School of Greatness, but it's never been more true.
Because even if you don't sign one, you get one, but the government gets to write it. And I don't trust the government as far as I can throw them.
Interesting.
You have a prenup, whether you write it or not. Creating a prenup, I get it, it's not the sexiest thing, but it doesn't have to be a, horror movie situation where when you get divorced, one person is rich and one person is left destitute. A prenup is truly just an agreement when you and your significant other are in a good place to hash out the details now. Like, no one says the negative stuff that they say about prenups, about car insurance. Why do you buy car insurance? Because you might get in a crash.
Right.
But no one wants to get in a crash.
And it may not be your fault.
It may not be your fault. But when 50% of marriages are ending in divorce and you're not getting insurance, that's insane.
I like that analogy. It's true.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I think the misconception is, if they're wanting a divorce, that means that, sorry, not a divorce, my bad.
A prenup.
That if they're wanting a prenup, that's now getting involved in interfering with the love portion. But she mentioned insurance. She's right. Nobody ever takes that. Well, maybe some do who are riding dirty.
Right.
But a lot of most people don't take the approach to not get car insurance.
Right. That's what I say. Nobody thinks nothing about signing a mortgage agreement. Car note. You got a car note, and if you rent a place to have an event, you have to sign a contract for that. So,
yeah.
I mean, if we could work on the trust, handshake agreement, those were old school. And people were trustworthy. Apparently, if they weren't, it went bad for them. I can tell you. But I know in the state of Louisiana, inheritance is not a community property anything unless you put it in a joint account. But nobody can touch your inheritance. Your spouse cannot touch your inheritance. They're not entitled to it. I don't care if you've been married for 30 years. They are not entitled to your inheritance. Your children are, but not your spouse, unless you put it in a, like I said, joint account.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like in the state you live in, but everybody needs to check what the rules of their state are, because every state's different. Louisiana is a community property state. Everything is 50-50 down the line, whether you worked and bought it or not. Just because it was acquired during the marriage, it's split 50-50. You know, you take the assets and the liabilities, and you whatever's left over, it's split 50-50. And that's where people that make a lot of money, you know, it's some heartbreaking stories out there. But anyway.
Well, I live in a common law state.
It's not common law down here. You can't be
Yeah.
married for 7 years, and it's assumed, you know, it's treated like you're married. But the state you're in, yes.
Yeah,
If
Texas.
you've been married for 7 years and you do, it's as if you were married. But Louisiana is not like a common law state. It's a community property state, but not common law.
Yeah, if you were in cohabitation, let's say you didn't get married, but you were in cohabitation for 20 years, this state is going to make sure, well, if you got the right lawyer,
right,
you could fight some things, especially if you have kids.
Right.
You know, they may say, well, you know, we think, you know, the woman should get this home because she's going to have the kids for most of the time. You know, so then they may say, well, you know, we're not going to kick out the mother. And it's like, well, we didn't get married. Well, you guys were together for 20 years, you know. But I would say I have more to learn about the state that I'm in because I'm not from here.
Right.
But I've been here since 2020.
Okay.
Actually, no, I've been here longer than that because I moved to Dallas first.
Okay.
And then I came to Houston. But yeah, I've been in Texas for quite some time. Probably going on like 7 years, maybe.
Okay.
Total 7 or 8. I don't know. So I get it confused. Yeah, but I mean, you know, there are things here that are different from other places, and
right
when it comes to cohabitation rights, you know what I'm saying?
But if you've acquired things together, even though you're not married and you're not in a common law state, you still, I mean, that contract protects you. I mean, if you bought a house together and you're not married, that real estate contract protects you. You're protected with that property. That property is going to have to either be sold, you're going to have to buy the other party out, or they buy you out, or you put it up for sale and split what's left over. So, you know, even though you're not married and you acquire things, if it's in your name or his name or y'all's name jointly, it's a joint issue. It's not a one-sided issue. But, you know, people do take advantage of each other, and that's the state of the world we live in.
Yeah, so I guess it just boils down to this, right? Because, you know, many would say that if, you know, and this was said on this panel, and I respect everyone's opinion, right? I do.
I know you do. You really do.
I appreciate everyone. But it's all going to boil down to this. Do you think that prenups are, you know, only for the wealthy? You know, I know you don't think that. But
no, I don't.
That's the opinion of most people. Most people say, well, if you don't earn, and the woman made a point of the gaslighting thing where it was like, oh, you know, what you need a prenup for, not you. And I'm gonna be honest with you, in my personal life, I had a very mean girlfriend. Well, once she became mean, she was out of here. She wasn't mean the whole time.
Right.
I remember one time we were talking about what we believe about marriages and prenups came up, right? I brought it up because I said, me personally, I'm team prenup.
Right.
And she hit me with the, oh, what you need a prenup for? That prenups are for wealthy men. You ain't wealthy. Okay.
That's not true. It's, you know, like you said before, if all you have is a shoebox, that's your damn shoebox, you know?
Right.
That's not, you're not entitled to my shoebox. You're not entitled to a little corner of it. You're not entitled to a little flap on it, you know, the tissue paper. You're not entitled to any of that. That's my shoebox, and you're not getting it.
Right. And I'm going to bring up something, right? There's an actress by the name of Journey Smollett. She had been acting since she was a child, and her royalty money from when she was a kid was kept in a trust so that she didn't blow through that money as soon as she became 21. Her parents set it up for her.
Oh, they're smart.
Right. Now she's going to be able to collect that source of income because right now, although she does act as an adult, the acting is not as active as it was when she was a kid.
Right.
So that's now new income. In her marriage, she had no prenup, right?
Oh no.
that man, they said that he may be entitled to some of that money. Her argument is, well, wait a minute, I was a kid when that trust was built for me. How was he getting that money? Oh, well, because you're using it as new income during the marriage.
No,
well,
she's collecting on something that she was entitled to all along.
Right. So I see women on the side of, not all women, but women saying, oh, she should have got a prenup, right? But then those same women, they don't want to sign a prenup if the man makes more. So I find that to be unfair. So when the woman is rich, get a prenup, but if she's not, don't sign it.
No.
You know, and I'm on Journey's side on this situation, right? No, he shouldn't be able to get that money because that's not money that they've built together. Anything that they built together, right? That's one thing. But money from from her child acting days, that's money that she was waiting on. And I said this earlier to Zacchaeus, I said it's not always what you may have in the bank today. It could also be what you may inherit. And you inherit many things. You inherit through deaths in the families or anything, right?
Yeah.
Right. Somebody like your elders have something to pass to you, but it's when they pass away. What if someone has a rich uncle, aunt, or grandparent somewhere, right? And their will is such and such is going to get my money. Now, they're not rich yet.
Right.
So a prenup could be just to protect that.
Well, the laws of the state protect you whether you have a prenup or not. That spouse is not entitled to inheritance. I don't care how much it is. I don't care how little it is. I don't care what it is. They are not entitled to that unless you give them access to it. And once you give them access to it, yeah, it's fair game. It belongs to the other party too. But if you never bring it into the finances, you set it up separately. You can set it up in a trust for the kids when they'll get it when they get old, or you can choose to remodel the house. You can choose to pay off stuff, or you can choose to build something new, and then it would become community property because the money's going to go to what y'all are going to live in, and that would be an issue. It's like, whose name is that house going to go into, because it becomes community property. So if you're going to inherit, you go get legal advice to find out what you need to do, especially if you have kids from prior relationships. But if your relationship is on solid ground, it's going to be included. And you're both going to be able to enjoy it. But if you don't always see red flags coming or something, I don't know.
Yeah, true that. And so, yeah, I mean, and I want to make sure. Yeah,
are you dating someone now, or you're not? You're not in a relationship?
I'm single.
Okay, so in your next relationship, how would you approach that? Or do you feel like that's something you're going to need personally, unless you don't want to personally answer? I get that. I understand that.
I'll answer. I ain't scared. I'm still team prenup.
Okay. All right.
But this is how I explain it, because I did this in my last relationship. It's not because I think you're going to take something from me. It's also because we're meeting each other at the ages that we are, and we both acquired things.
Right.
I'm 39. So
right.
the women that I'm running into are going to be either my age or older.
Right.
So they don't have a problem.
They understand.
Yeah. Well, because
they've got friends that's been taken advantage of. They've got parents that's been taken advantage of. They know how things can go south and how bad it can be. They've heard stories on Facebook of people getting divorced, and the horrible stories that come from it.
I think it all depends, because I mean, if I was a wealthy guy, I don't know, maybe I'd get a different response. But I think the attitude that I get is, oh, okay, all right, well, As long as mine's is protected too, that's fine. But it doesn't get transferred as, oh, what are you in this relationship for? Because if anything, they're like, oh, okay, because I don't know what a woman got when I meet her.
Right.
So if I'm saying prenup and all that, and she's probably thinking, oh, okay, because I got some things too. We live in a different day and age, right?
Right.
I'm pretty. I'm. You know, women, people have things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know, me and Kat, we talked about like side hustles and real estate and stuff like that, right? Off camera.
Right.
And let's just say I meet a woman who, and like I said, there's what you have and what you're worth. Let's just say I meet a woman who is going to inherit a home from her parents. Right? That's her home, not mine.
Exactly.
So if she says, hey, we need to sign a prenup because there's this thing I'm trying to inherit and I just want to make sure that we're together for the right reasons.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a pen.
Right. Exactly. That's my attitude.
Because if I'm marrying you for you, I'm marrying you for you, not what you got. And secondly, there's things that I got. If I want to, here's the thing: when I get married, I'm going to share my world.
Exactly.
So it's not a problem. I'm not trying to hold something back from my future wife. I'm going to share my world, but I need to know that you're with me because of who I am and not for what I have. And a lot of men go through this. And listen, I know this gets said in many different ways, but I'm telling you, there are men out here, and I'm only saying this because typically women do not marry men who make less money than them. This is the only reason why I'm saying this.
Right.
If we had more of an abundance of a number, then we can say that it's on a equal playing field, but it's still not. So since it's still not, we don't have a case of a whole bunch of men winning in divorce court. Yes. But once we do, I guarantee you we will hear women teach to other women the importance of prenups. Right now, it hasn't happened yet. Right. But I guarantee you, because I know a lot of women are like, well, the men are talking about it, and men are always, you know, because we're the ones that propose and we're the ones that come out on the short end of the stick of a marriage. That's why. Right. And you don't have to be wealthy to lose. There's I wish I would have had the video, but this woman said that her and her parents got a divorce, right? Right. And he had a home. He got the home. It was a 5-bedroom home, right?
Right.
You know, no mansion, but a nice home that he worked hard for.
Right.
Right, to buy for the family.
Right.
She got the home, and she got his retirement money from a job that he acquired before she got married. See, I wish I would have brought this up when everybody was on the panel. Yeah. Because your 401k pension and retirement also can be attacked too. Right?
Right. Yeah. They're entitled to that.
Right. And then so what happens is she said that all he had to his name was an apartment. She said the first thing he had when he got out, you know, was an apartment. All the furniture, whatever furniture he owned that he could take, he had. Went to the apartment. She said the apartment, he didn't really have much to his name, right? Right. But you know what? He still took it in stride, went to work every day and loved his family. Right. But he lost. He took a loss. Not a rich man. But if he would have had a prenup, then that prenup probably would have been like this. Well, you guys bought the house together. You got to now sell it. And she gets half of the profits and you get half of the profits, because then he could take half of those profits, put a down payment on a new home, just like she can, and then they both have their own homes. Right. So then you both win. Right. What do you think?
That's true. Or you can buy him out, you know, and then he can still go, you know, everybody has to have a place to live. Yeah. You know, and regardless of why the marriage broke up or whatever, everybody still has to have, and they brought something to the table. Otherwise you wouldn't have married them, you know, whether you brought an ability to earn, or you were actually earning, or you were preparing to earn, like going to school and getting certificates or, you know, licenses. So there has to be fair, and the people that make the most money are the attorneys. Okay. So if you don't have a prenup, you're going to pay attorneys. I mean, that what, $200 an hour? Every phone call is $100 or $50, and every fax, and the depth of paperwork that's filed in a divorce is ridiculous. You're talking thousands of dollars, and that money could have been better well spent than attorneys and the state's prenup, so to speak. But and if the marriage doesn't fall apart, then you both win. So nobody wins in a divorce. The kids get take the hit too.
Yeah, that's very true. So I guess the whole grand question is, for my topic the other part of it. We talked about the protection part, but if somebody is proposing a prenup, does it mean that they have divorce in mind? Is it dooming the marriage from the start?
No, I don't. I think it can. It depends on the people, and some people hyper focus on the little thing,
Yeah.
But I think it can. It doesn't have to, but it can. I understand that side of it too. But if you're a mature person, you're gonna look at it as, okay, he wants to protect me. He wants to protect himself, and you know what? If you're gonna benefit. You're going to benefit one way or the other, whether it's the way your lifestyle or what you walk away with.
Yeah. And then I also think it depends on the prenup. For context, you mentioned Love is Blind.
Yeah.
I'm going to mention a particular episode where a woman came with her prenup.
Yeah.
And he said that he was okay with signing it. The concept of a prenup he had no problem with. But he said that when he took that prenup back to his lawyer, he said something didn't look right.
Right.
And here was the problem. It was the within marriage part that needed to be addressed. Very similar to that woman I played earlier when she said, yeah, I'm going to have one. And in my prenup, it's going to say that that I should get 80% of a successful business and you get 20 and you get 20.
Yeah.
And so I think it was the in marriage thing, but I also wanted people to pay attention to this. This is why I played the clip. What if the business wasn't successful? Would she still want that 80%?
Wasn't successful? Because with 80% assets, you've got 80% liability too. So, because if you want the 80%, and it goes bad, you're going to get 80% of liability too. So, and you can ensure that it goes badly if it goes bad. If the relationship goes bad, people can ruin a business just out of spite.
Right.
Like you're looking at having your own business. I'm assuming you work for someone, but you work for yourself basically. And so what you build and earned, because life has taught you that, you want to trust people 100%. You want to trust them 200%. But are they going to really allow you to do that?
I would never want to. Me personally, I would never want to present a prenup like that.
Right.
If me and my wife start anything together, it's ours. So that we're gonna be fair to each other, right?
Right.
Regardless of whether we make it. The goal is to make it, but if we don't make it, there's no way I wouldn't do that. As it's funny because Beyonce mentioned, if you're someone who is rooted in your faith and you have a real relationship with God and you're moving Christ-like, that shouldn't be a concern.
Well,
I agree if it's me.
Yeah.
But then there's that other person, Meerkat.
Right.
And the one thing that we never take in consideration is we're thinking about how we would handle things. Us.
Right. Right.
But when there's another person, you don't know until it actually happens.
Right.
A lot of people, it's one thing if there's something that you had to do that required your own production.
Right.
So then you only have you to blame for it.
Right.
But if it requires another person to be on the same page with you, that's not always guaranteed when that situation arises. Maybe within the first 5 years, he or she
Yeah.
was perfectly understandable and moving the way you move.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they got vindictive. You never saw this. You were married to this person for so long.
Yeah.
You never saw them doing this, right?
Right.
Because people change at the end of the day. We're humans. We're not robots. We're not
Exactly.
programmed to be who we are all the time.
Yeah.
You know, even I could change. You know,
Right.
I don't believe, Lord willing, I'll never become this. But as nice as I am, and respectful as I am, if I just let all that go, then I could become the animal. And then people would say, man, I never saw that from Fifth. What happened? Well, you could
trauma happens.
You're right. You could be so wrapped in what you are now, but then what happens is at some point, sadly, someone gives their self over so much that they sell their soul and they're not who they used to be.
Right.
And so the laws of the land exist, right?
They do.
And really, you're just trying to protect yourself from the laws of the land, more so than the person that you're with.
Right.
It's really just the laws of the land.
Right.
What do you think?
I think you're right. You're spot on about a lot of things. Everything you said. I agree with them. And I'm not just an agreeable person. I'm not a yes person by no means.
No, you're just logical.
Yeah, life has taught me to be logical. Working in the court system, working in the medical field has taught me to be logical, and thankful that I've not gone through what a lot of people I see go through. You know, I have gone through some things, but not the degree that some people have gone through. But I want to learn from other people's mistakes, you know, and choices, because I don't have to go through it. But people don't always see it that way. But yeah, if you go into business with someone, you can have a best friend, someone you trust with your life.
Yeah.
You could go into a business with that person and you don't see what's coming. And how many friendships, best friends, are ruined because
of money.
Somebody was diddling with the other spouse. I mean, you know, how many marriages have broke up because the husband got with the other wife, or vice versa. I mean, it's, I don't know. People don't always talk to someone or go to counseling when they need to, when problems arise in the marriage.
Good point.
And so if you don't get if you go into business with someone, or you buy something together, you can buy a camp together. You can buy a vacation property together. You can buy, mechanical equipment together because you're having a business, dirt equipment. You know, if you don't have something put in writing, you have got a mess on your hands. I mean, it's messy. Life is messy, and so are people. And I don't think nobody ever goes into it with that intention, but you just don't know. You lose a job. You lose your job. You get diagnosed with a medical issue. Your spouse gets diagnosed, you lose a child, you lose a limb. I mean, how many people have gotten in wrecks and got their backs all twisted up? They got hurt on the job. Nurses get hurt on the job lifting people. And there's so many catastrophic things. A house catches on fire, and there's so many catastrophic things that happen that dictate what you should have done or not done. So
no, that's right. All right. Thank you, Meerkat. I'm gonna end the show.
Yeah, have a good night. Get some rest.
All right, everyone listening, I appreciate everyone from joining Fifth at Night today, and I'm gonna end it here, and I'll see y'all next week on Fifth at Night. If you follow me on TikTok, I'll be on TikTok at Fifth General TV every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 Central. Join me on the TikTok show. That's for Fifth at Night. See you next Monday. Take care, y'all.
Night.